Wow. You want to check that one out?
We got a problem.
You have no idea how much pain you're going to be in a few minutes. Might kill you.
Oh, my God.
Rip your face right off.
Jesus Christ.
Bow! You ain't going to find out.
Wow. Jesus.
48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking. Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking, 48 minutes of dogs barking.
What a week.
And we didn't record Thursday because you unfortunately had to put down your best four-pod friend.
Yeah, my sweet boy Gibson, he got too old and sick for this world, and the junta decided that he was going to be executed for crimes against humanity, and
He was not living up to the standards of Juche.
No, he was. And if you want to hear me get weepy about that, that's thanks. I hate it. You got to pay for my pain, but
I couldn't record because I had taken a shit too powerful for the toilet.
I forgot that was why.
That's just like
He said, "Hey, I don't know if I'm going to be there. I got to unclog a toilet." And it's like, what kind of shit are we talking about here, man? What's going on?
Dude,
How long had you been at it at that point?
probably 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
I was breaking a sweat. And
Yeah.
here's like the thing. It was a long fucking day at work.
Yeah.
Working an 11-hour shift. And I just had I'm driving home and I just feel like a rock
Yeah.
shifting me.
Ooh.
Yeah. And if you listen to the last things I hate, you can hear the story of being on some medicines that are changing my digestive habits and my bowel movements a little bit. And what I've been doing to kind of counteract that. And I just kind of, with all the working 50 plus hours a week, everything else I got going on in life, it kind of slipped. It was basically like a Stag 24-ounce can.
Okay.
In every sense.
I'm picturing it.
Am I really describing an exotically painful bowel movement, like the kind where you sweat?
Yes.
Like it only lasts for a moment, but you are sweating.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and then I hear Dee's car pull in.
Oh no.
I'm like, cool. Just doing everything I can, pour in the hot water.
Oh no.
I even did vinegar real quick, which sometimes works. And unfortunately, the plunger I have is not necessarily built for the type of toilet that this house has. It is built for the toilet that I had in my apartment. Oh boy. Oh boy, I am just pissed.
You're sweating now more than you were on the toilet. You had to pour the soap down and...
They actually worked quite well.
Whew. All right, well, that's good. The indignities, man, they are piled upon us.
It's already been a rough fucking day.
Right.
Now my turds have turned against me, and
Right.
you, the toilet, my best and dearest friend,
Right.
will not accept my gift.
You're slowly taking Ed Zitron's crown of the most punished man alive. Just,
Yeah, it's just like, can I get a fucking break?
help
man?
me out here, yeah.
Folks, help me out. Doing my new hamburger impression. Folks, why didn't the turd flush?
Well, because I'd eaten some...
Because I'm on so many medicines, my turds are hard like a rock. Oh.
It's 48 Minutes Dogs Barking. My name's Jason. This is Brian. If you haven't guessed by now, well, then I don't know what to tell you. And if you haven't guessed also by now, we are a little...
Drinking.
Yeah.
Who's drinking? Who's thinking? Who shot Abe Lincoln? John Wilkes Booth.
I was going to say, yeah, okay. I couldn't remember for the life of me because I've just been so focused.
Well, yeah, we're drinking Jim Beam single barrel.
Yes, beautiful Jim Beam single barrel. I'm not much of a straight whiskey guy, but this is doing the trick.
Fucking tasty. Little. I feel like a splash of Coke.
Yeah.
It's eventually gonna become a whiskey and water.
Yeah, well, that's fine too. All I've got in the fridge are Diet Mountain Dew Major Melon. So
I don't know what to tell you
a little
about
too
that
fruity. And
it's the wrong time of the year for trying to experiment with that flavor profile and hard booze.
it's been a weird week, so we do not have a main topic tonight. We're doing all sorts of audibles. We're just kind of having fun with it. We're gonna freak it. We're gonna have fun with it.
We're gonna break it down nasty style.
Yes, we're gonna freak that bitch out, Tone. We're going all in. Now, I thought the other day that we were about to have a very, very funny scenario on our hands. I thought it was going to be time because we saw this raw alerts. Breaking 2 ambulances along with 20 to 25 vehicles have reportedly appeared full of Secret Service have left Mar-A-Lago. Oh boy. Ambulances, all these Secret Service guys at Mar-A-Lago. Oh, it's happening. And for about 10 minutes there, we had a moment.
For those that don't know, when you are president-elect, vice president-elect, or even the sitting president or sitting vice president, the motorcade that travels with you is fucking insane. I have been on 170 when Joe Biden was driving through.
Yeah.
And that was about, I want to say, like 20, 30 vehicles long. Emergency vehicles, local police, Homeland Security.
All that.
And I've also seen George Bush's limousine pull into a gas station at one of the worst neighborhoods in St. Louis. So they aren't exactly doing their best.
It's consistent. I don't know. Yeah.
Like that. Oh, that was the presidential limousine in Kinloch.
He had an appointment. I don't know. But,
Are we in West County yet?
is this Ray Ray's house? But yes,
Everyone
readers.
here looks really hungry. Do they have enough peanuts?
Andrew Feinberg later said, no, it's actually part of the motorcade. Everything's fine. But for a little while there, I thought,
I'm amazed there wasn't a moving van from a local furniture company
yeah.
with a couple love seats in there.
Gotta have the plastic covers on if they're going to JD's office. Yes.
Are these Scotch guards?
Always wear protection, JD. Yeah, just so apparently the guy, Andrew Feinberg, was originally the one reporting this. Oh my God, there's ambulances. He's a White House correspondent for The Independent, and he is posting this.
How'd you not know?
Right. You're the White
that
House
point-
correspondent.
It's your fucking job, brother. My brother in Christ.
Right.
This knowledge should be like secondary to you.
You ought to know.
You're the guy that's supposed to be telling us what's going on in the Winter White House, and apparently you don't know.
Just clown shoes over there at The Independent. I don't know what's going on. Just ridiculous. Art Candy, a Checky, but replying here, I mean, you're the one who reported it, and now you're telling everyone to calm down? Rich.
I mean, I probably would not post for a while.
Yeah.
Getting people's hopes up, because we thought this was going to be the greatest day since when Trump had COVID.
Yes.
And he came back and he was like breathing like a fish out of water on the mezzanine.
And then you heard the stories about not going out like Stan Chera. I mean, we all
Don't want to go out like Stan Chera.
Woo!
Probably the only reason that guy has a Wikipedia page now.
Yes, probably, yeah. We also learned some really gross shit, courtesy of Vanity Fair, which I hate the fact that Vanity Fair broke this, but beloved author Cormac McCarthy, when he was 42, fell in love with a 16-year-old girl he met by a motel pool. Augusta Britt would go on to become one of the most significant and secret inspirations in literary history, giving life to many of McCarthy's most iconic characters for 47 years. Britt closely guarded her identity and her story until now. That's the whole subhead. That's Vincenzo Barney writing for Vanity Fair. Unfortunately, she looks like aged up Yolandi. I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, the haircut's a choice. It's not bad. It's just
it's utilitarian, I guess.
It's. I mean, she's with her 2 horses. It's a great photo, but it's not what you think. It's very striking.
Yeah.
I have heard a little bit of discourse on this. I don't care. Dudes were doing fucked up shit back then, which is not to say I condone it.
Right, and I get that. I mean, now that he's passed on, this kind of stuff is going to come to light.
Fucking David Bowie, Mick Jagger.
Well, theirs weren't even out after they died. Those were just like...
That's just so, like, yeah.
That just happened, I guess.
There's just, like, a lot of... Dudes were doing some fucked up shit. I guess it's more like I'm not surprised. We used to put lead in gas. You know? We weren't a proper... We've never been a proper country, but we most certainly weren't whenever this was going on.
Yeah, because, I mean, 40... What was that? 47 years. So that would put us in the middle of the late 70s. So...
Yeah. I think the 70s was, like, the last time you could have culturally gotten away with that.
Right. According to Britt, she was in and out of foster care. She used to go to the pool at the motel off the freeway at the south side of Tucson. This guy, by the way, is not a very good writer, and you put him on this story, I feel like you've kind of shot yourself in the foot
the
here.
Trillbillies made a point of that this is a really compelling story written pathetically awful.
Yeah, like the worst guy you could possibly get to write this.
And they theorized that this guy had the story, he had the scoop, and the only way that he was going to let them have it is if he got to write how he wanted to. And they're like, fuck, it's too good. It's too juicy.
Full editorial control over someone who just does not write all that well. I mean, maybe he's trying to emulate the McCarthy style, but it's just not hitting.
There's too much about how the story comes about.
Yeah.
Like bad gonzo journalism.
Some great accompanying photographs. Norman Jean Roy in particular got that shot. That's the header there. It's an interesting piece to read, but it's not good.
It's a very compelling and introspective story written sloppily.
My real problem with it is that it's way too long. Could be trimmed a bit. Now, of course, me not being a professional editor, I don't know how the hell I would even convey that, that's what needs to happen. But it struck me that way. But it's also very simple. We met when I was 16. He was in his 40s. I kept this a secret for all this time. The ick, obviously, is there.
Yeah.
You're going to have it. But
I mean, this is the guy that wrote The Road.
Right.
Right. Where someone like barbecues a dead baby.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. I'm just,
There's a darkness in the man's soul. We kind of knew that. Yeah.
The guy that Anthony Burgess that wrote Clockwork Orange was like he would go to Africa and was a sex tourist, and I think was quoted saying something like he left the best part of himself in the dark continent.
Oh.
So, I mean, you know what? Like, again, white dudes that be writing back then.
Yeah.
Pretty much the fact that it took this long to hear, like, some real skeletons in his closet come out is kind of impressive. I think the worst thing that really came out when he passed was that he was cheap.
Right.
And he wouldn't take, and then his wife was always pissed about, like, if he wasn't writing something or didn't have something recently published, that money was hard.
Right.
Because he wouldn't take speaking fees.
Which, okay, I guess, if you want to maintain some kind of ideological purity about that.
Not that he, like, would go speak for free, that he just didn't want to fuck. Like, people would offer him real money, and he'd be like, I'd rather not. Just not do that.
All right, I guess. I mean, that's the way you want to play it, brother. I mean, you got a name like that. I get the kind of defending your purity or whatever, but at the same time, brother's got to eat,
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Yeah.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Over the past weekend, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, two people who live on this planet at the same time as us, got in a fight that was sanctioned by an organizational body.
Yep.
If I wanted to see a 20-year-old shithead with bad tattoos fight an old guy with a really thick neck, I'd go to the pool bar I used to hang out at in North County when the shift change would happen. When the old white dudes would be there avoiding their wives, and then all of the young, cool black guys that wanted to play pool would start showing up around 5 p.m. Yeah, I would go to Redbirds.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That seems about right. Yeah. First, there was the problems getting signed on. Like, Netflix was having major problems. Couldn't handle the load, because every time I would try to get on, it'd be like buffering 25%. I get 30 seconds of commentary, nothing about the actual fight, and then buffering again. And then, I did all the usual, like restarted the TV, came out here, tried it from the desktop of a computer, tried it on the phone. Nothing worked. The streams were ridiculous. You couldn't actually see the fight. So I had to kind of experience it vicariously the next day. Were you able to, or did you even try to see the fight?
I was tempted. I think I just went to bed.
Yeah.
Because I got my fucking weird fucking sleep schedule.
You probably made the better choice. Gotta be honest.
I heard that the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson match itself was pretty underwhelming past like the third or fourth round. It was actually the women's match beforehand that was the actual, if you were interested in the sweet science.
That is what I've heard as well. Yeah.
That would have been the thing to watch.
Yeah, so apparently it all went down. Tyson went the 8 rounds. It went to Paul in unanimous decision from the judges. Judges scoring the bout 80-72, 79-73, and 79-73 in favor of Paul. This video does, thankfully, give us the highlights. And, of course, it's been removed. So, all right, I'll pass on that. But a lot of people did think that there was something fishy about the fight, and I think I did too, but again, I only saw it after the fact. But there were several moments, especially early in the first round, where Paul throws a punch, Tyson dodges, and it looks like left himself open for that big old Tyson uppercut that we all know.
Yeah.
That usually ends matches very quickly if it's applied correctly. He didn't do it. He just kind of wove out of it, paused, and then the fight continued. There were a couple moments during grappling where it sounded like Paul said something to him. People are saying, he said, oh, you want to get paid or what? Or, things like that. There's a lot of stuff about the match being, kind of predetermined in Paul's favor. Obviously, nobody knows anything for sure, but conspiracies online tend to do that, especially when it comes to something that we've all wanted to see, which was Jake Paul getting rocked by this older boxer.
It's what everyone wanted, was to see Jake Paul look like a Iraqi war vet that stepped on IED.
They wanted the Key and Peele sketch about, he will play to God after what I have done to him. They wanted that to be real. They wanted that to happen to him. Brandon Willard posting this video on Twitter. Mike still got it in him.
But you see that jab, like he just gets in.
Yeah.
And Jake almost fully eats it. Like there's good contact, but like he's on the hunt. Yeah.
And someone via Stake then posted this thing about here's how it was rigged against Tyson. And of course, the second post is, I want to begin by mentioning that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are members of the Illuminati. They are part of the same secret society, so this entire rivalry and trash talking was staged. Not everything is wrestling, guys. It was weird, but I think the weirdest thing, even after all that, was the pre-fight interview where we got a little dose of Tyson's cheeks here. So here it is, a little bit of this courtesy of Netflix on Twitter, being interviewed by his son on the pre-fight thing. What's your prediction? Mike says vicious win. He's like, all right, get out there. Thank you, son. They hug it out. Tyson turns away. This whole time, we've only been seeing from like shoulders up on Mike.
Yeah.
And as he turns and walks away, you realize he's just wearing basically a codpiece.
He's just wearing a jockstrap.
And he's double cheeked up on a Friday night.
He looks like he's doing some Cirque du Soleil shit. Spinning on it.
And a lot of people reacted to that with a bit of shock and surprise. People saying like, why is Mike Tyson showing his whole ass on television? And that also kind of fed into some of the conspiracies about like how it was a humiliation ritual and all that stuff.
Oh, like what they did to
John Cena.
Yeah.
I was saying John Cena's half naked all the time.
Or what they did to RFK.
Okay.
Having to eat the Big Mac.
Now that makes a lot more sense, yes. I think the only thing I ever wanted in my entire life was to see Jake Paul physically destroyed by a man that much older and had that much more experience. It's perverse. I understand that. I understand that I am not normal. I'm a genetic freak. But because the math didn't math for me, I still don't get how that shook out in a unanimous decision from the judges. It baffles me. There are things I will not understand in this world. That is one of them. Because it looked like there was even a few moments where he was biting his gloves. And somebody asked him about it after the fight. Mike, why are you biting your gloves? I have a biting fixation. Like, all right.
There was that interview, like maybe a day or two before the fight. Like some young YouTuber was interviewing him, and she asked him like about like his legacy, and he's like, "Why would I want to be like so self-important? Like when I die, that's all there is. I don't want to live on past that." Which
yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most humble
answer
you could get. Is that like this is the life you have. And why should I be thinking about glory that I'm not going to enjoy?
That's so grim, Mike, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's Mike Tyson.
Right. I understand that. And he's facing down 60, this is probably going to be the last bout he does unless the money's real good. So, I mean, asking him about legacy now, I don't know. This is it, right?
Legacy, we're in it.
So you did reference the photo of Don Jr., RFK, Mike Johnson, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump on Air Force One eating McDonald's.
Mike Johnson looks like a Bible Belt preacher that has done some things.
Like a minor character in like a prison show that they're like, what are you in for?
He looks like one of those guys that like in a documentary about like the Quiverful movement that like goes down for some real sicko shit.
Somebody named @BoneGPT, which should be a dead giveaway. He's also got the check mark. Posting this 1721 painting by Deitz Nuützen predicted the Trump-Elon RFK McDonald's dinner. And it is, very clearly an AI-generated painting. The details are all fucky. I guess if you're dumb, you could pass it off. People on the right, they ate it up. Started spreading @Cliff_high. Cliff is anti-selenite. Look at the precision of the staging here. The angle of the shoulders on the guy standing. General head tilt. Look at RFK Jr. hand/arm positions and face. Look at the arrangement of the food in front of the fellow from the 1721 painting, matching RFK Jr. food. Look at the eyes of both. So yeah, random shit like this happens all the time, every damn week.
And of course, there's a QAnon link.
Of course, yes, the Oracle of QZ. Queen B55. Q says nothing is random. 0 chances this is not staged. It is too perfect. But why? Deitz Nuützen painting from 1721. Deitz Nuützen equals 1703 minus 1721 equals 18. R equals 18. Look at drop 1703 RR. They're using geometria to get to the bottom of this. Of course, I saw D's nuts, they respond. The point is, it's all staged to point to Q drops. The most influential people on the planet are directing us to the Q drops. Elon himself just posted this last night. Something really big is happening. So yes, apparently people did dig around looking for D's Nuützen, which is, of course, a D's nuts joke, which is a great one. And there's a lot of people redoing it in various AI styles. The Simpsons one, because the Simpsons called it. They also did a few follow-ups, the Trump at McDonald's one, and it's painted by Huge Asshole.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently sometime in 2004-ish, Deitz Nuützen, there was a little bit of notice.
There it is, 4. 4 searches. Time traveler looking for Q. John Titan back.
I think making RFK eat the garbage food as a humiliation ritual is, I think that's
it's stunning. It really is.
And you got to think that by the amount of time it probably took for that food to get there, that food's not good anymore.
It's lukewarm at best.
Yeah.
At best. Because they're on the tarmac, and then this is, I don't know, I can't see out the window. I don't know if they've taken off or they're just sitting taxiing, but they're still like on the plane. They've gotten that far. He's got the clearly like warm bottle of Coca-Cola sitting next to him, and he's got a lot of stuff on his tray there, like a Big Mac and some nugs and some fries.
Yeah.
And Don Jr. just holding up the fries, logo facing out, is like, Jesus fuck, dude.
The richest man in the world sitting next to him, the first buddy.
I know. Oh, Jesus. It's a real Dutch situation there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Elon's real.
Fortunately for all of us, that is a real person.
10 times dumber than anything that's in that other book, yeah.
What a cursed image. Jesus. Everyone looks like shit.
Bloated, high, really uncomfortable, and the only one who actually kind of looks like he's having a good time is Mike Johnson, but he's
Which is a terrible situation. Mike Johnson looks like the only guy who's stoked to be there.
Right. Trump's got the fake smile.
RFK looks like you just... This is a terrible way to phrase it. But this is like catching your friend in high school making out with a fat chick. He's got that look.
Yeah.
He really's got nothing to be ashamed about necessarily.
But he's internalized the shame. He's got it. Yeah.
That posture.
Yeah. Oh,
he's making out with Hot Dog Girl.
Did every friend group have Hot Dog Girl that everyone knew about? Because I never met her. Everybody was really excited when we heard that Hawk Tuah Girl was revealing her Pookie. And then we realized that just meant her boyfriend. So
She's not showing whole?
No. No, Haley Welch is not showing whole.
Because then we can answer the question, would you spit on that thing?
Well, I mean, look. I'm not a man that's in any position to even come close, but I'm not going to say no if asked to, you know. If asked, I will serve.
Rude.
If asked, I will serve, I think is the phrase.
You're like John Kerry at the DNC.
Yes, reporting for duty. Reporting
Or
for
DNC, I'm sorry.
Tui. Yeah, so
Imagine him digging that chin there.
there's been a lot of reaction stuff on it. I really do not give a shit, to be honest, because apparently her friend Chelsea, it's the Chelsea's friend's cousin. I don't know. It's just dumb.
This final paragraph here and on the Know Your Meme page really hurts my head. The two discuss their first date at the restaurant J. Alexander's. Then they talk about the first time Welch told him she loved him, claiming they were both drunk at a hotel and it was the middle of intercourse.
Oh boy.
He then apparently laughed at her and she laughed back. They claim they hope to be married and have kids in 5 years. Pookie talks about how he doesn't like Welch's obsession with the comedian Matt Rife. The episode then transitions to an interview with Jake Paul about his fight with Mike Tyson.
So she reveals her Pookie and then talks to Jake Paul. I can't believe it.
Yeah, talk about getting cuckolded.
And obsession with Matt Rife? Ugh. Talk about a problematic fave. The clinking glasses really sell the whole Neil Hamburger bit that we're going with.
I've been having to explain Neil Hamburger to the younger people I work with.
That's got to be a hoot.
Because I've like gotten stuck in situations where I've had to walk around with like a laptop and a water bottle and other things like crooked in my arm, having to like put out some sort of fire. And I'm like, what's going on? What do you mean the OEM labels aren't printed? And they're like, the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, there's this comedian, you know, and I try to explain, and they're just like, the fuck, man.
Like 3 levels of irony I'm on here. Come on, keep up. Yeah. Jesus.
And then I'll be like, you know, what's worse than 9/11? What's worse? Why did Anthony Kiedis of the Grammy Award winning band Red Hot Chili Peppers, why was he at the salvage yard?
I don't know, Neil, why?
He heard they had some good junk. Oh.
My favorite still has to be the cranberry sauce joke.
What's the cranberry sauce joke?
Now, originally it says about Courtney Love, but I have rewritten it to be about a certain someone, a Cheeto in the White House. Why won't Donald Trump be having any cranberry sauce this Christmas? I said, why won't Donald Trump be having any cranberry sauce this Christmas? Well, hopefully he'll be dead by then. And originally being about Courtney Love, not nearly as funny. I think the new one is, that's just my
God,
take
he's
on
got
it.
some Eric Clapton jokes about his dead kid that absolutely fucking just go off.
There's nobody out there doing anti-comedy that's also actually funny. Like him.
Oh, and Greg Turkington is also one of the most interesting people I've ever spoken
That's
with.
what you were saying. I so
He was
jealous.
explaining the big ball to me, and I'm like, that sounds absolutely... You got Comedy Central to pay for a pilot of that? And he's just like, I know.
So, okay, I'm not as familiar with the Big Ball. That was a game show.
It was a game show where he was the host,
Okay.
and his like Vanna White was a female bodybuilder with
yeah.
a very deep voice. Obviously has done a couple courses of steroids.
Right.
It's a fucking fever dream. I don't even remember like the gimmick as far as like what makes it an interesting game show.
Okay.
The pilot it was on Adult Swim's website for a while. I have no idea if it's still up. It is an insane thing that occurred that was made, even just a pilot.
That sounds awesome. Now I kind of want to see that. I'll have to hold on to that, and that'll be my Breathman next week. I'll tell you about my experience with the Big Ball.
The big ball.
That's true, because he does.
I'm sorry. The live on X here, the one that just really got me was House of Decline is hosting I Saw the Beavis Club.
I kind of want to join this space. and just see what's happening. But we're doing a show. We'll have to do it.
I saw the Beavis.
We interrupt this broadcast for I saw the Beavis glow. But I like to bring a little levity. I don't always get to in this show. Talked about some really despicable people doing despicable things. This is a little bit of that old internet wonder kind of being brought back. Gentleman by the name of Riley Walls. Not related to the vice presidential candidate. I found millions of YouTube videos that have default camera names as titles, like IMG_0276, and made it into a website where you can watch random ones, unedited, pure moments from random lives. And this has been my obsession this week. The website is walzr.com/IMG_0001. And he explains on the site this. Between 2009 and 2012, iPhones had a built-in Send to YouTube button in the Photos app. Many of these uploads kept their default names, creating a time capsule of raw, unedited moments from random lives. Inspired by Ben Wallace, I made a bot that crawled YouTube and found 5 million of these videos, watched them below, ordered randomly, and we're going to just see what comes up for us. A lot of live music does come up on these. Oh, nice version of Knights of White Satin with a flute player who's going to get very tired by the end of that song. 6 views this has from 2011. A sideways video of a couple bros about to do some push-ups, it looks like. Oh, no, they're standing against the wall. They're doing the...
Yeah, they're doing the perspective thing. It looks like they do one-hand push-ups.
37 views on the fake one-handed push-ups. 11 views on an adorable child pushing a shopping cart in a...
store?
Yeah, some store. I can't
Looks like a
read
Target, but...
Yeah. It's got Zellers, it looks like.
Knock a shit over, like, hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh, knock more shit over. Wow.
Someone's just standing there filming that? I don't know, so strange. Someone filming a party in 2012. It's just these weird, disjointed clips, Terrence Malick style, just someone's life. Different people's lives from all around the world. A lot of Spanish speakers in this last group that I've seen. I mean, it's hypnotic. It really is.
It's so I
spent a lot of time on this site this week.
Just feels like this very interesting, like, slice of life, and we all like gave it up to be like monetized for not our benefit.
Absolutely. I think that's
like, this feels like looking at like one of the last pure things of the internet.
Yeah. I think that's why it caught my eye. It's simple. it's effective because this is just somebody thought this was important enough to record.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just like watching that child, 3-4 years old, with bumbling through the toy aisle. They knock one thing over, and then they knock over a couple other things. They lose grip of the little cart that they have, and they fall on their butt, and like they're just kind of got this confused look on their face, and it's just, it feels, it's like watching someone's home movie.
Yes, flipping through a stranger's photo album.
Yeah, it feels like you're seeing something that's kind of banal,
sure,
but it's earnest.
Well, there's a power
like
in
even
that.
like what looked to be like a bunch of like college freshmen like partying.
I think there's something to be said for the simplicity and the power in that.
Absolutely. I think that's something we probably have gotten away from too much,
especially on something like a YouTube. I don't feel like there's a lot of stuff on there anymore that's just like real.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to put it. Realness.
Like, everything feels just like it's just a little too perfect.
Synthetic, manufactured.
Synthetic, and even when it tries, like, so there is a music gear influencer named Emily Hopkins or Hospins, I can't remember. She's from Long Island, and she's like a cute, nerdy woman.
Okay.
And she plays harp. She was going under Emily the Harpist for a long time. And I was actually I think one of the first like 10,000 people to follow her Like when I first followed her on YouTube, I don't think she even had like 5,000.
She's got the blonde hair, dark hair thing, glasses. That's
plays the
okay.
harp and
Yeah.
all that. She's got a golden retriever indie nerd boyfriend. Like just there's a lot of stuff when she was first figuring out what her channel is going to be like. There was a lot of stuff that was really interesting, stuff that was really funny. You know, talking about being Italian from Long Island. You know, we give out bags of marinara on Halloween. So there's like a video of her like, you know, on a stoop with bags of red sauce and like in a shitty like octopus costume.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was a thing that started like about a year ago in the comments that like, oh, is Emily Goth Egg?
Oh, there is an adult film star with the same hairstyle.
Very much the same look,
Yeah.
same physique.
Oh, that's right, because she got Goth Egg to appear in videos with her.
Yes, so yes, thank you. So yeah, about like a month or so ago, Emily had Goth Egg on her channel and like did tons of content. Not the kind that some of us probably were hoping for.
Well.
But it was like for me as a nerd for music stuff, I thought it was really funny, but like it also just felt like a little too perfect of a bow on things.
I get that. Even like the most earnest people still have to have a bit of ironic distance or something, you know, like there's a lot of creators that I like, but it's very clear that like the lighting is perfect and everybody's,
Yeah. But then like you have something like Emily or I'm a little out of the game, but there's like a couple where there's like a handful of like 3 or 4 that are like kind of top tier.
Mm-hmm.
And Earthquaker releases a new pedal and they all have a video out the same day. Fender has a new type of jazz master. They all like there was actually a thing where Fender had sent out so many review copies of the Acoustasonic Jazz Master a year or two ago that people were making videos about like, is this like peak YouTube music gear influencer where like 40 people, not even people with that big of channels, were getting sent this, you know, this guitar to like do a video on.
Well, because I think, speaking of Street Fighter, I think a lot of people felt that same way when more review copies were going to YouTubers and streamers than were to, you know,
reviewers, like actual journalists and all that. Yeah. I mean, it's changed, and like I've flirted with the idea of doing that.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Like the weird synth music that I make, and also like photography. And it just all seems like a lot. It feels like you're giving up a lot as a person. Like you're giving up a lot of your agency, a lot of your privacy. You're really opening up yourself for like cheap shots to be picked apart, to like review a guitar pedal early.
Most people don't talk about the kind of messages they get or that kind of stuff. You gotta wonder.
Heimbach, who is a European guitar, more synth gear nerd guy, I actually really like his videos quite a bit. I think he seems like a very sweet, gentle Nordic European man. Does a lot of instrument history stuff. Like he has gotten early like European synthesizers from like the 50s and 60s that are barely what you would call a synthesizer. Like they're very archaic, they're very primitive, but they have like a really interesting sound. And people need to remember that like when you're talking about old like electronic keyboards or synthesizers, that a lot of that stuff was so intricate, the circuits, and so lovingly designed, and there had to be so much ingenuity in the development of these things. We take it for granted now, but like a Farfisa compact electronic organ, every single note, all, I don't know, 50 something keys, I forget how big the key bed is on those, but each one of those has its own fucking voice card.
Oh god. Okay.
So there has to be a voice card for every note. And so think about how many, you've got to make sure you're doing, and with the Farfisas, there's like a really weird architecture to the voicing it's called triangular.
Okay.
Is how it's been described by people who are a little bit smarter about it than myself. And I actually have a Farfisa compact that lives in my mom's basement because it's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds amazing. It's
Sure.
such a beautiful, strange thing. but all of the voicings don't necessarily work anymore, and to get it repaired means like shipping it off to someone.
Oh, wow.
And like it would be prohibitively expensive just to ship it, let alone get it worked on. It would almost be worth it just to do a road trip. And just a road trip there when to drop it off, and then a second road trip to go pick it up.
Come back.
But Heimbach does a lot of stuff like that, a lot of old weird stuff. But he did something where he took the negative and sometimes like xenophobic or like racist comments that he got on YouTube and social media, and he would record himself saying them, and then he would do like basically like an art installation with them.
Okay.
And so he would record them onto tape, and then he would kind of slowly destroy these loops. And he would do things like have one where the thing that was providing the tension, so it would feed through the heads and, you know, be audible, you know, so it would play, would be like a butter knife or something. So as every single time it played through, that butter knife is causing degradation, and so that loop is losing fidelity and things like that.
Okay.
I always thought that was pretty interesting. But like Heimbach's like a guy that's not doing like the newest thing review very often, like unless it's something weird like make noise with like their Strega noise synth, which I have, which is really fun and creative. Like he's like the perfect guy to talk about that, and like did shit where he was having, I think he took red bell peppers, and used that to create an electric bridge between two different contact points, which would normally be like your fingers.
Yeah.
To create these like you're like basically doing West Coast modular synthesis, but instead of doing like eighth-inch jacks or banana jacks, you're using your fingers as your conductor. Like you're using your body as the connection between these 2 points.
Okay.
But he was using like red bell peppers, which I thought was really fucking funny, and it worked. I don't even know what the point of this diatribe is. I guess we're just going for time here, aren't we?
Well, I think your point is that, you know, the genuineness like his is hard to find.
Yeah, and there are people whose channels, when it comes to that stuff, that I've really enjoyed, that have tapered back their output because it's like, I just don't want to review the next big thing,
The latest and greatest. you know.
because like that's a great opportunity to build like a relationship with like Akai or Native Instruments. But I also don't believe that you need like the latest and greatest thing to make music that you like, or music that's meaningful or impactful. So some of those guys have like dropped off. I think like Accurate Beats is one of those people that, like, he's a German guy who loves making hip hop music, and I think he kind of got burnt out on reviewing, like, you know, here's like the new version of this, and like when I think deep down it's like you don't really need the new version of that. Like there's so much interesting music that has been made on less than ideal equipment with less than ideal instruments, and I think when you start thinking, oh, I need the newest MPC, or I need the newest version of this guitar pedal, or like, oh, I need a new delay pedal because my old delay pedal just isn't like, it's not cool enough, and this one's made by, you know, Earthquaker or whatever, then you start using that as a crutch that you're putting in front of your actual musicianship, your actual ability. I mean, it's all marketing. I mean, we've all fooled ourselves into thinking like, well, if I want to play really cool music, I need a really cool guitar.
Right.
And I can tell you, as someone that's owned some really nice guitars, like my favorite guitar I've ever owned, and I regret selling it, was a fucked up Gibson S1 that had bad tuning machines, a weird neck. And I think it might even had mold growing under the paint. Someone had fucked up the pickups. At one point in time, someone had attached a Bigsby to it and removed it. Oh, no. It was a fucked up guitar. I bought it for, I think, $100 from my manager that I worked for at Guitar Center. He sold that and a weird Tysco electric that I also regret getting rid of because it sounded super fucking cool. I think I got both those for like less than $2 from him. And that Gibson had like a really comfortable neck. It was fucked up. Nothing about it was right. I got the neck worked on, but it was a junky ass guitar. Someone had like taken a chisel and removed the serial number.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, this was a fucked guitar.
Yeah.
But I had the most fun playing it. I got it for nothing. I've played fucking 50 Stratocasters. It did not make my dick move an inch. Like, here's a guitar that's worth probably $30,000.
Right.
And,
Nothing.
like, I can't jack off to this. I've been fortunate to see really, you know, I've played original Travis Beans, you know, which are really hard to come by, and been like, this is neat. This guitar kind of sounds like shit. That's disappointing, you know.
Yeah.
When you get to play a really rare, like a thing you've only seen in books,
Right.
and you're like, it's all right. And it could be just that one. Like, I actually felt like the one I played just happened to be a dog. But I've also then got to play my dream guitars and been like, oh, this is every bit as cool as I thought it was. But I guess I'm just saying, like, you don't need, like, the coolest shit to do cool shit. You don't need the newest guitar or the nicest amp to do cool shit. You don't need the coolest camera to do cool shit. Now, are there things that are nice about having the nicest guitar and about having, like, the nicest equipment for, like, whatever thing you're doing? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But to go back to it, like, I've played very expensive PRS guitars that I think are technically flawless instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Every single bit about the construction, the wood, the book matching on the maple tops, the electronics, the fit and finish, you know, the way the frets are dressed and all that, like, technically perfect. But in the end, very boring guitars.
Yeah.
Give me something that's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
And a little janky. Give me back that fucking Gibson.
And that's how I feel about this manufactured YouTube versus something like this IMG 001 site.
Yeah.
Give me random shit that is real versus, hey guys, that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a manufactured quality to it all. There's a trend chasing quality to it all, and it hurts in a certain way. It's just like physically painful.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
I feel like at this point of things, myself personally, I'm getting kind of exhausted of just like the same scam being run.
That's fair.
Because the only thing because what we have here, folks, is on our little spreadsheet here is scammer brags about impersonating Coinbase support. Quaint coin scam, 30K in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The only thing, the Gen Z trade, like the fucking kids,
Yeah.
are learning to rug like fucking pump fund coins and shit.
Yeah.
There was one called some 12-year-old that like rugged for like thousands of dollars. He was calling himself racist dev.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, this one is like, he did it 3 times in a row.
Actually, you know what? Fucking mood.
He did it 3 times in a row. He named one Quant. He named one Lucy after his dog. And then he even named one Sorry. $sorry. And then he fucking rugged that one too.
You know what? That actually kind of rules. That's still. I mean, goes back to. I mean, this is just like the newest version of my favorite rug I ever watched happen on a Telegram channel, which was the guy rugging and being like, hold on, I fucked up something. Add liquidity again. Rugged again. And hold on, I gotta fix this. Add liquidity back. And then as it pumped again, so he probably made that guy probably made like 10, 20 grand. Just being like, hold on a second, this isn't right. I'm still cooking here.
And even CoffeeZilla was like, this sucks. Like, is this the future of if a finance is this kid giving you the double bird as he rugs a 3rd time? You know, like, yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
I think that's pretty much it. That's.
So nothing new under the sun, I guess.
Fucking Bitcoin's almost 100K.
Yeah.
Which egg on my face. I said I didn't think it was going to go past 85.
Yeah.
This cycle.
Yeah, I got out too early.
I just didn't think the money was going to be there. I didn't think the demand was going to be there. But apparently, I was wrong.
Well, you hate to see it. All right, man.
Yeah.
You want to do? You want to go? Want to see something gross?
Yeah, let's see something gross.
It's Shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
This isn't even all that gross. Once again, the shock sites, big quotes. It's just porn. This is called Gooork. Gooork. Goggle My Goods, it says. And it's just gay porn of a guy. Well, yeah, see
I could go without the sounds.
the sounds is the whole reason the website is called Goork, GOOORK.com.
It was getting my gag reflex, and not because it's someone just getting absolutely face fucked.
Yeah.
Like the only thing's missing is the nose being held shut.
Yeah, oh God, I hate that. It's like you're already deprived. Don't make it worse. Yeah, come on. Someone is being nice enough to do that for you, and now you're just taking advantage. Now it's mean. No, I don't like my porn to be mean. Oh, by the way, speaking of porn being mean, we do have to issue a correction. Last week we referenced a pornographic actress. Her name is Coco Love Locke. And not Coco Love Cock. Please accept our humblest apologies. It shan't happen again.
I'm so embarrassed.
Egg.
You ruined my Happy Meal.
Egg and Happy Meal on our face is what I'm doing.
I had conversation with someone that was like, I made this reference to my friend I do the podcast with, and I thought I would just be saying something that scandalized him, and he knew what I was talking about, which made me feel bad.
Hit the Uno reverse on you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you think you're gonna weird me out, huh?
Yeah, and it's like, well, I can't even remember the particularities of the conversation, but man, it was just like one of those things where you think you're a piece of shit, and then you find out someone that you respect is also a piece of shit.
Well, there's your mistake right there. Respecting me, it's all gross from here on out. Oh boy. Well, I guess yet more wanting to puke is breath mint time.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
The only thing's missing is someone also sticking a penny in a light socket while they're.
I always remember too, there was a long period of time Howard Stern, the guy Fred who does all the sound effects, he would pull up a gagging sound from some video, and then I've later found out it was a video I knew very well. It was a roar of snow going gawk, 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 gawk. And anytime Fellatio is referenced on the show, he would just hit that soundboard. Gawk, 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 gawk. Which is what reminded me that this shock site even existed. But anyway, it's time for the breath mint.
Jesus Christ.
Hey now. Yep. Hey now. Hit him with the hind.
We're getting Chris Christie to write the Sibian.
Chris, how you feeling? I don't know, guys. To me, he sounds like the one overweight gay dad on Modern Family, even though it's not. He doesn't actually sound like that, but that's how he's in my head. I never remember any of the characters' names because I don't watch that show, so I only see clips.
Chris Christie fell off.
You think?
I think the last time we really got a Chris Christie moment was when he sold his soul for Donald Trump, and there's that video of him giving the Michael Scott face in that press conference.
Because I think the last couple times I've seen him he was on CNN talking about how Donald Trump is bad. I'm like, yeah, everybody says that. Hit me with something new, Chris. Oh, he's uniquely unfit. Oh, I've heard that 3 times this week. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, guess what, dude? He's back.
In POG form. PAWG. Now I'm thinking about Donald Trump as a fat-ass white girl. That's great.
What are you doing, Step-Constituent?
I'm stuck on Air Force One. You know?
He's stuck in the door.
So starts pulling his pants out. Anyway.
Moves his diaper to the side.
Oh, no. Oh, you've been a bad boy, Donald. Oh, boy.
They call it 10,000 mules.
Jesus. Oh, that whiskey's going to my head. All right. This week for the Breath Mint, I watched, in lieu of the Tyson Paul fight, I instead watched Alien Romulus. As a longtime Alien fan, and as someone who liked Fede Alvarez's previous films, I I didn't know what to think, and I'm still kind of wrestling with it. It's a legacy sequel. It tries to have it both ways by being a sort of sequel to Alien Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
It tries to also be a legacy sequel in that it's new characters in a familiar setting kind of vibe. I mean, you know the kind of the drill here, but
Yeah.
a bunch of miners, both underage and people who mine things, working for Weyland Yutani on one of these outworld colonies. They get this idea that they're going to pilfer an abandoned research station that's about to hit these ice rings outside of a different planet. So like, okay, we're going to go up there, we're going to steal whatever valuables they've got, and we're going to get out. Okay, good hook. You got me there.
I'm going to imagine the abandoned research center is a place that's familiar to us.
Actually, no. It is not Sevastopol. It's not one of the things from like the games or anything like that. As far as I know, from my recollection, it is not an existing thing. Now, it might have been in Alien Covenant. It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I'm kind of 50-50 on whether it is actually something we know about. But from what I recall, I don't think it is. But it is a Weyland Yutani ship, a scientific research vessel that does have preserved specimens of the xenomorphs. And so they turn the gravity back on the ship and they start reactivating systems, which of course wakes up the dormant creatures. Everything goes to hell in a very linear fashion that we've seen before.
Yeah.
There are some interesting ideas. The young woman, the main young woman whose name is Rain, her brother is an android. He's also constantly malfunctioning, and he has a propensity for dad jokes. So they're trying some interesting characterizations here. You've got the heist movie idea that gets abandoned halfway through the movie.
That's a shame.
No, because, of course, it becomes like, okay, fuck the heist. We got to get out of here, all that. So that kind of thing. Spoilers for those who have not seen the movie, but they do have a rather unfortunate extended use of Ian Holmes' face. The deceased actor who played Ash in the first Alien movie does appear in this one as a partially destroyed cyborg. Not Ash, but the same model.
Right.
That did not need to have happened at all.
Right.
Lance Henriksen, as far as I know, is still alive. He's available.
Actually, he's passed.
Had he? Oh, okay.
Because I actually had a conversation with a coworker who said that was one of the things that really sat wrong with him about the movie. And of course, I then had to give him my pitch about you need to watch the editor's cut of Alien 3. Well, listen here. Now we're talking about Alien movies. Let me. Gosh,
Yeah.
I just feel like
You like to shoehorn that one in whenever you can.
I mean, it really is something special.
No disagreement there. I definitely see the vision. Yeah.
You've seen it now, yeah?
I have now, yes.
Yeah,
and I certainly understand
It's
what
almost
you're
like a
saying.
completely different film.
It
once
is.
you get about halfway through.
Yeah, I agree on some choices and I disagree on others, and I think that there is a whole different movie that sits in the middle of the two cuts that I think could have been achieved with a little bit more time and a couple of reshoots, but it diverges quite a bit, and I grapple with which one I like better.
I think I like the editors because the editors cut because you see like the plight of the prisoners.
Yes.
You see their inability, like they could be saved,
Right.
as far as they could be rehabilitated, but they are discarded.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they are doing, they are lost, and they are trying to do their best.
Yeah, they're the detritus of the universe, and I feel like in Romulus they're trying to give you that same feeling about these miners who are trapped in these very long contracts, who are given no choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that hopelessness that's built into the themes and the script of this one. I do say that the last half of Romulus hits some great action beats that feel real and fresh and really cool. Some really interesting ideas. Turning off a ship's gravity so that the alien blood doesn't eat through the hull.
Yeah.
Okay, that we've got an interesting idea here. Using physics to... It's interesting concepts, and they kind of play with how space actually would work and how it would work to help you in certain situations. There's a callback to Alien Resurrection that I was not expecting. In an extended sequence where there is a human-alien hybrid baby, and it is interesting because it takes that idea from Resurrection and then also adds the engineer faces from Prometheus. So that was cool. But
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that monster is really neat.
But also kind of like, why are we doing this again? But whatever. It's a repeated theme. It's a motif. It's going to happen again. But it also incorporates the black goo from Prometheus. So there's some stuff where they're trying to kind of make it all work together. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. They used a line from Aliens completely out of context that pissed me off. But that's one line of dialogue. You can cut that and you're fine. I think on the whole, it's really enjoyable. It's only enjoyable, though, if you're a nerd for these movies like me. If you're a casual moviegoer who doesn't keep up with alien lore, this might not be as enjoyable for the average viewer. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The tension's great. Characters are interesting. The goopiness of the monsters is goopy. It's what you need.
A lot of practical effects.
A lot of great practical effects. They look just nasty. It's good. Take a shot. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, it's not for you, I guess.
I do want to give it a shot. I didn't hate not Romulus, Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Prometheus I had some issues with.
Ugh, so many issues.
Prometheus is one of those movies that you go and watch like YouTube explainers about certain things, like particularly what the engineer is saying.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. The thing that like really sets off the engineer is Wayland being such a huge irredeemable piece of shit and realizing, oh, these humans, we were trying to make them the best of us.
Yeah.
And it's even implied that like the engineers like gave Jesus to the world and that y'all look what y'all did to Jesus.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
I don't think that's terrible though.
Terrible, no. Odd, yes. I mean, there's degrees, you know.
But if the argument is that humans and capitalism are a terrible leech on the world,
sure,
they're so better than like the god alien race being like, yo, like we even like got one of y'all and taught him how to be like us and instill our morals and our principles in him, and you were like, oh, you also have to die. like it is in your nature to be terrible.
Yeah.
And we've tried to fix it and we can't. You are a failure.
That's interesting, at least, if nothing else.
But that's all stuff that's not you don't get.
It's not explicit.
Yeah, you have to like watch like a director's cut or something, or you have to watch like I forget how you get that information, but people have gotten it, and it's like, yeah, the engineer is actually like interested and benevolent on some level until he sees Yutani screaming at the one female researcher, and then that's where it goes to shit.
Like, oh wait,
oh yeah, that's right, you guys are fuck shits. Anyways, time to die.
Yeah. Well, enough of that experiment. We're gonna get rid of y'all. Yeah.
Prune this tree.
Mm-hmm. How about yourself, Brian? What you been up to?
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Just having so much fun speaking into my glass here. I sound like I'm coming off the old radio here. Gosh, it's 1935. I just had my first saltine cracker. And, oh, boy, what a treat. What a treat.
Hot crackers. What a scoop.
I put a little bit of butter on there.
Yowza.
Yowzas. You got some to flip a skirt.
Running around doing too much, but I can tell you that Friday night I went and photographed a promising up-and-coming Texas rapper, Big X the Plug.
Hell yeah.
Who I enjoyed thoroughly. I, however, hated the crowd, which was
no.
For people who don't know, St. Louis has it's almost a running joke that rappers will travel the Midwest, they'll travel the South, and they'll be playing to what looks like what you expect a hip-hop crowd to be in Chicago or Louisville or Nashville or Atlanta. But in St. Louis is almost exclusively angry white dudes from white flight suburbs. And that was about half of the crowd. I want to say half to 2/3.
Jesus.
And I'm going to say I have not witnessed that many people falling out at a concert that wasn't an EDM concert my entire life. In my 15 years of photographing live music, it felt like at one point, before even like anyone really took the stage, like 3 or 4 people were like passed out, falling in the shit. Like the show hadn't even really started and people were fucking we're failing our children and not teaching them about proper hydration and substance abuse.
Oh, yeah. You think they were...
Oh, some people were definitely, like, maybe they took an edible.
Oh.
That was too strong. But like when I was waiting for one of the openers to go on stage, like just some young woman behind me, just like her legs just fell out from under her, and like we thought that she like hit her head on something.
Ooh.
Like shit that was like scary. It wasn't just funny like you like you got really fucked up and didn't drink enough water and now you're passing out at a sold out show. It's more like,
oh, this is real.
like you might have hit your head real fucking hard. You might be concussed. Staff members coming and like we've got to get her on her back. Okay, you like just a random dude in the crowd. You gotta lift her legs, get the blood flowing back to her head. And he's like got her, and the staff members got her leg or her head between his legs to keep her neck straight.
Right.
And like talking to her. This ain't even shit to get that fucked up about. Like this is just like a really good show. This isn't even like this is not something I would like get so like fucked up at to put myself in that position. I would like maybe get like a little drinky.
Sure.
Maybe get a little high.
Yeah.
But whatever these people, like, what are y'all doing?
They're going hard for like 3 hours before the show. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, people are missing Mr. Big X himself, who was great.
I only heard the one song, and of course that was
And Back on My BS, and
yeah, I don't think I heard that.
the blunt smoke was a little rough for me, just like post-COVID, my lungs ain't what they used to be. He performed everything I wanted to see. And I was like, all right, he did all the cool shit. He has some cool shit to say in between songs. All right, I fuck with this guy. This is pretty cool. I got what I wanted out of this. Got some okay photos and peaced out. It was the first sold out hip hop show I ever photographed at Del Mar Hall. That room could get a little claustrophobic.
I was going to say, yeah.
Sold out shows at the pageant don't really go that direction. I don't know, like dude had like a good flow, good vibe, good energy. I hope he keeps doing cool shit. His new record, I enjoy quite a bit. It's got some good stuff on there. Yeah, that was cool. And then last night, one of the greatest local bands still performing in this fucked up town, Hell Night, did a 10th anniversary show with Path of Might, which was then opened up by one of the best heavy acts in St. Louis, The Gorge.
My God.
Quite a good show.
Yeah.
Dads to the front.
It is that kind of shit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how it was pitched. You know, I remember like Andy White, the guitarist, posting on Facebook, like we're old. We got kids and responsibilities now. Like, we're going to play this show, but we don't know like when the next one's going to be. Don't be like, oh, sorry, couldn't make it, because there might not be. In like the last time I was invited to a Hell Night show was last October, 2 Octobers ago, and it was unfortunately the same night as Ash Nico, which was a sold out show. I felt really bad missing the show they played last year, but I'm really glad I got to catch this show this year. The Gorge, we're playing some of their older shit, which has a little bit more dynamics to it. Phil Ring is just an amazing guitar player and vocalist. That whole entire band, everyone there is fucking money. Path of Might is a bunch of dudes that played in way more interesting bands beforehand, but whatever, like it shit still slaps. I had to explain to the person that was with me that like, yeah, all these guys were in bands 10 years ago that were way fucking more interesting than this, but this is technically a better band than anything they were in before. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a super group when they first formed it. And
yeah, it's just, I also get like a little bummed that dudes playing really interesting, weird punk music when they go like, yeah, I want to play shit that I'm really interested in, and it's prog metal, and you're like, you're kind of telling on yourself.
They had too many listens to that one Can album. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's kind of a bummer, but they were fucking cool. And then Hell Night is
raw.
I photographed a lot of their early shows with their original vocalist, Mike C., who just had this insane guttural scream. Those songs were like upsetting.
Yeah. If you go listen to Blister Pack.
Absolutely. Blister Pack, like Invader. Oh. There's some stuff on there that's fucking just crazy as fuck.
Yeah, definitely find that on Bandcamp, dear listeners. You will find yourself a new favorite band. I guarantee.
Yeah,
it.
It's I would be really hard pressed to find out if the dudes from Chat Pile had never listened to Hell Night. That early shit with Mike C. But the vocalist they got now was in Shadows Fall, Grammy-nominated metal act. He has dreadlocks that almost touch the ground. It's kind of insane.
And he's also a killer vocalist, dude.
It sounds great. But it's a thing where I think the band was more interesting with Mike C, but Mike C kind of just wasn't feeling it anymore, and they parted, on good terms. I would say, yeah, like there's really nothing being lost by having a real like professional ass front man for that band.
Yes.
As opposed to a guy that's like a master carpenter who like rebuilds chimneys and shit for a living.
Well, it's a useful skill, but it ain't gonna get you too far in the metal
Well,
world,
I mean, again, that's a little bit more interesting than having a guy that was in a Grammy-nominated metal band, my opinion. Holy shit, what a fucking show. What a fucking performance. Holy fucking shit. So fucking cool. So fucking fun. Andy White, just sick guitar tones.
Oh my god. I love that guy. He's also just a cool hang.
Andy White's one of the sweetest people you'll meet in St. Louis. One of the kindest guys. Incredibly talented musician. Great skateboarder. Raising a kid.
Yeah.
With his cool yoga instructor wife. And they seem to be killing it. Raising a great little human being. You love to see it, folks. Eric Eister, been playing in fucking cool-ass bands for a million years.
That's right. I only knew him for a while as Eric Eyeball, but yeah, Eric Eister, yeah.
Eric's another sweet human being. Am Arsenault, who I actually went to school with on
sick.
drums. Not the chubby chipmunk cheap kid that I knew growing up.
Not anymore, yeah.
Now he's got fucking some gnarly grade sideburns. Fucking killer drummer, though.
Oh, yeah.
Great dude in his own right. And yeah, it's just really fucking cool to see, because I remember going to some early Hell Night shows that they were headlining, and there'd maybe be like 30, 40 people, but they packed out off Broadway pretty good. Kind of hard not to with a lineup like that. But it was neat. Yeah. It was neat to see just some people I hadn't seen in a while having fun. Got some cool photos.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
The Hell Night photo. Yeah.
I guess posted a couple. But it was fun. It was cool. I hadn't seen Hell Night play in almost 10 years. I hadn't seen Path of My or The Gorge play in just as long. So it was a good vibe, man. It was good times. I had a couple tall boys.
Sick.
I didn't take a ton of photos because I just wanted to have fun. But I was like, fuck it.
The fact that you got to do both is dope.
Yeah, I got to have a good time. Got to make some good photos. I'm just feeling really exhausted and burnt out, like in general.
Yeah.
And like thinking like all I really want to photograph next month is Suki Waterhouse and Better Friends, and like maybe one or two other things later in the month. And I'm like, that's it. I don't want. And like in January, it doesn't really have anything. I'm like,
take a break. Yeah,
that's fine. And the thing is, like, when's the next time Suki Waterhouse is going to play St. Louis?
Well, right.
Better Friend. And then also Better Friends has got Gouge Away on that fucking bill.
Well, yeah.
So
yeah,
like it's like fucking Microwave with that lineup.
Exactly.
Like fuck, man, that
you can't really. It's like I'm going to try to go to Census Fail / Saves the Day because
you better fucking go.
I know. Both of them are playing their classic albums in their entirety. I'm like, well, when is that going to happen again?
Exactly. Like, it sucks to be like, have everything going on. Like, my work is crazy.
Right.
Trying to be a social animal, trying to like have something resembling a normal life. But it's like, fuck, man. Like, Tokyo Police Club playing their final tour.
Yeah.
And it was fucking such a great show.
So it's like, okay, that's worth it.
Yeah, it was so fun. It gets exhausting.
Oh, sure.
Did not think I would be going so hard at life at 38 in a way that was similar to how I went hard at life when I was like 25.
The way I look at it is you're only as young as you feel, which explains why I am now 75. So
yeah, well, it's why I go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week and beat the shit out of myself for a couple hours, because like I'm trying to stay good.
Yeah, I went for a 2-mile hike today.
Congratulations.
So
how'd you feel?
Oh, completely exhausted.
Yeah.
because I'm an old fat ass. Yeah. I'm trying stuff. Trying to work on life.
If people want to know what the fuck I do to beat the shit out of myself, I start out with cycling 10 miles.
Uh-huh.
Then I do about an hour of weight training. And then I do about 35 minutes of a cool down on the treadmill.
So you're out of there in what, 2 hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, okay.
Absolutely beating the shit out of myself.
Yeah, well, look, whatever it takes.
I lost 10 pounds in a month.
Fucking A, brother.
Building muscle.
Let's go.
So, yeah, you can too.
Indeed. It is possible.
It is possible if you just believe in yourself and want pants to fit good.
There is that too.
really can't understate the pants fitting good part. These pants, the pants I'm wearing right now, Jason.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Very nice.
Very
Gray
beautiful
jeans, yeah.
Very comfortable. I couldn't have wore these 4 months ago.
I am starting to feel the strain on these Coleman copper Dickies.
Man, you gotta
I know.
fucking just hit your steps, bro.
I know. Working from home makes it a little bit hard.
Yeah. Get a rowing machine. Put a rowing machine here.
That's probably the best advice I've heard in a long time. Rowing machine does sound pretty dope. Yeah, that
Put
sounds
one in
like
the basement.
Sure.
And you can tell the kids don't bother me. And just listen to Pantera and row for like an hour every night.
Full Frank Underwood style. Yeah, just just get in there. On that note, I think it's time for us to tell people where to find us online. Brian, where can they find you?
Oh God.
I love how you have to open it with "Oh God" because it's like, I don't want people to find. Who was the guest of ours that said, "I don't want people to find me online"?
Was that Stryker?
It might have been Stryker. Yeah.
He DM'd me today and he said, every time he logs in the letterbox, he sees a review for a movie called Flow, and he thinks of us because of Dracula Flow.
Hell yeah.
We showed that to him.
I love to be someone's first experience with something like that. That's always just so, it's a treasure to me.
Zaza got me feeling like my uncle works at Nintendo.
Where can people find you online?
If you want to find me on Twitter and Blue Sky, you can find me at iShotGuidibord, ISHOTGUIDBORD.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find me on Instagram, you can find me at A Music Photographer. If you want to check out a website that's still not working, you can go over to amusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out a website that does work, you can go to my portfolio, which is assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out the last and only good media website left in St. Louis, you can head over to the Arts STL, where they are still on a 120-something day posting spree. Concurrent 120-something concurrent days with new content. Folks, you love to see it.
Content. We love it.
We love to see words and photos and things like that. Jason, where can they find you?
Oh boy, you can find me at a number of places. Chances are, if you see Video Crime, that's me, VIDEOCRIME. That's going to be Blue Sky. I'm still on Twitter, but I don't really use it. I'm on Letterboxd. I'm on all the different places where you can talk about movies and stuff. I'm on pretty much anything you can think of. If it's got a Video Crime, chances are it's me, with the exception of Instagram and TikTok, which I also do not post on. There I am, Laser Goose CEO. You can also find me as part of a podcast that is not this one, called Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals. Now, I know I talked to you guys about there being a Halloween release, and I apologize for the delay. Our producer is hard at work on the episodes. I did hear the first completed episode of Season 2, so they're coming soon. You can find updates on at midnightpals.bluesky.app. You can also go to the website and catch up on Season 1. That is midnight-pals.simplecast.com, or anywhere fine podcasts are sold. You can give us a call here at the show, 314-246-9766, 314 AHOY POO, if you like to spell with your telephone. You can shoot us an email, jason@48minutesofdogsbarking.com. Brian with a Y at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com. And support the show. Patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. Dogs. And we're
dogs, the barking the dogs.
Where you'll get one of my favorite things to do, which is, of course, the post-show hangout. It's called the Thanks I Hate It. The Thanks I Hate It for this episode is it's going to be a little bit of a weird one. I'm talking about my dead cat, but you'll get a chance to check that out if you go to patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. If you get in there at the $10 level before the end of the year, you can get yourself the 90-minute commentary track on the Japanese puke fetish video Garo Monster Home Delivery.
Folks. We've been pitching this for like half a year.
I know, and we really got to get actually on it. Yeah, look at our calendars and see when we're available.
Do something.
Other than that, that about does it for the show. As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck, give mommy a good gut fucking 25th Amendment now. Who ate all the pussy? And eat shit. Goodbye.
Goodbye.